From the north side of the San Francisco Bay to Singapore, welcome to Urban X Real Talk Fitness Radio with your host, business owner, lecturer, author, master trainer, Tiaja. With over 30 years of experience in the health and fitness industry, he will challenge the fitness between your ears. So prepare your mind, body, and soul for the revolution of self-care, the evolution of fit, with real talk about real people, real health, real fitness, and the real deal behind our present illness culture. Real talk every time, all the time. Get weekly insights on how to shift your thinking, emoting, eating, training, hydrating, goal setting, and resting for you, the everyday athlete. You can cheat your fitness, but you can't steal your health flow. It's Tuesday, 9 a.m. Let's flow.
Welcome to Urban X Real Talk Fitness Radio, where we challenge the fitness between your ears. I'm your host, Tiaja. It is difficult for me to discuss weight loss or health without including our brains. What we think about ourselves and the world around us is just as important, if not more so, than what we put into our bodies. The very reason our company's tagline is fitness between the ears is because I learned long ago that what prevents the majority of people from reaching their health and fitness goals has very little to do with what we normally consider stumbling blocks. What we consider stumbling blocks has to do with something external. That is, things like poor diet, lack of exercise, procrastination, as well as lack of opportunity. Undoubtedly, all these things do contribute to a person's success or failure, but they're not the difference between success and failure. The difference between success and failure lies between your ears. One of the major reasons people struggle to overcome such self-created mental blocks is most believe thinking and learning are disciplines that belong to the world of academia. So once they graduate high school or college, learning and thinking are no longer required, with the small exception of learning a new skill for a job. How sad. What they don't teach you in school, however, is introspection. How to think critically about you. Not how to criticize and overanalyze every choice you make, but how to stop and observe the choices you are making. Are your choices enhancing or hindering your progress? Are you where you want to be in your life or where you thought you'd be at this point in your life? Here's another truism. Many people are unhappy with their lives, while even more believe it's too late to do anything about it. Which camp do you fall in? Are you unhappy with your life? Do you believe it's too late to turn things around? If that's you, you're not alone. Today will be just another day unless you decide today that it won't be. It is Tuesday, May 14th, 2019. Let's flow.
As someone who has been in the healing arts for many, many years, well, for some years, I am an observer. Those of us who are in the healing arts, we are observers of the patterns that mystify us in why do we become ill? Why do we break down? What helps us to become better? I mean, we are great mysteries to each other. And I find it so interesting that for all the years that we continue to study us, that we are such mysteries, which should tell us right off the bat that we continue to open places within ourselves, that we ourselves, as we are the observers, that we are continuing to learn how to observe, and that we as human beings are continuing to find places to observe. Let us say that the world behind our eye is our new frontier, and that we have become intrigued with ourselves in a way that other generations have not. That this is the new frontier. We are the new frontier. And so observing, for example, why we become ill, why we don't heal, has a different meaning than if that question were asked before World War II. The depth to which we now look at ourselves and the depth to which we're asking that question is a hologram compared to how once upon a time they asked and they were maybe looking for an infection. We are looking for a story, a narrative, reasons that are a complexity. When I've been working with people now for 3.5 decades, and as an observer of people, there's so many things I could share with you, but I've narrowed them down for obvious reasons, and to choice. I want to emphasize the power of choice. And perhaps there was a time when we wouldn't even talk about it, but we have to talk about that today. Because choice is a fundamental power of the human experience. We need to put choice as an authority, as a power that is so huge that if I ran the world, this is where you should say, that's a good idea, but if I ran the world, I would make studying the power of choice part of every school curriculum. That everyone should learn that the power of the choices you make have infinite consequences. From the littlest choice to something that is great, big, huge. And that here's the paradox. You have no idea what a little choice is or a big choice. What we are used to doing is believing that a big choice is an obvious one. Buying a house, getting married, getting divorced. In fact, those are your small choices. The choices that actually matter when it comes to your health, when it comes to healing, when it comes to positioning yourself, empowering yourself, are the tiny ones that are the choices, I should say, that you think have the least power, that you make in the privacy of your own company, that perhaps you think that are the most insignificant. I have found repeatedly, are the most powerful choices of your life. The most powerful. That have the most powerful impact on your biology, on your on your soul, on your sense of who you are, on your well-being, on your whole life map. Now, I'll tell you something else, that these are the types of statements that are dicey to make, because if someone said, I want you to bring proof of this in a basket, I couldn't do it. But if you listen with your heart and your gut and see if it doesn't settle well there like good chicken soup. So I'm going to take you through choices. The kind of choices that if you came to me and said, I don't feel well. I don't feel well. And I have chronicness. And I go from one chronicness to another. I have chronicnesses. I am always a curmudgeon. Nothing makes me happy. I am always complaining, and I ache, and I'm exhausted. And I almost make unexhaustion, but I don't. And I almost like my life, but I actually don't. And I almost can love someone, but not really. I almost make it there, where I actually feel love, but I don't actually really feel it. I think I feel it, so I think feel. And every now and again I kind of get a love high, but it doesn't last. I take 2 aspirins, it passes. But then I think maybe it is, but then it's not. But then it is, but it almost is, but not quite. So I go to a therapist. Is this love? But if I try hard enough, but maybe. So I find someone to blame. Chronicness. There's never been people like us who have these issues. We're extraordinary in our issues. And as I go into this, here's another thing that is unique about us. And put this in your chicken soup belly. We are born knowing certain things. We're wired for it. It's in our instinct. It's in our spiritual instincts. It's in our DNA. It's in our soul DNA. We are born knowing that choice is powerful. Choice is the most powerful thing we got going for us, and we know it. And that's the reason why we're terrified to make a choice. I'll ask somebody, where do you want to go for dinner? I don't know. Pick a restaurant. No, can't even pick a restaurant. People are terrified of making choices. Terrified of the consequence you choose. Terrified of being held accountable for a consequence. Well, I don't know what I want to do. I'll think about it. The morning, the day, your mind gets the day shift, your heart gets the night shift. Your mind says, well, I think, your heart says, I feel. And you don't let the two of them talk to each other. Because if they do, then you actually have to do something. Choice terrifies people. So most people will do anything to postpone making choices. So I'm going to help you out. And we're going to go through a list of choices that matter, that make a difference. The first choice is the decision to actually live an integrous life. And when I say make a choice to do that, it's the kind of thing I mean. I don't mean, well, I live a good life. No. I'm talking full scale. I'm going to walk the way I talk. I'm actually going to do it. I'm going to live a life of integrity. I'm going to, never mind this speak my truth, I'm actually going to tell the truth. I'm going to live with integrity. I'm going to make my choices according to what I say I believe I'm going to live. I will not, and what this means is that I'm not going to betray myself. I'm not going to compromise myself. I'm not going to put myself in a position or put myself in any circumstance, or if I'm in a circumstance, I'm getting out. Or I won't force another person. I won't force another person to be in a circumstance in which I know they're uncomfortable in order to please me. I won't hold another person captive because that has no integrity. I will not do that. Now, let me tell you something. Liars don't heal. Liars don't heal. So you can eat all the wheatgrass you want, and you could do all this stuff with seeds and vegetables. But an honest person who eats cat food will go further than you. Dishonest people, people who lie, people who have moral crises and do not get it, people who blame others for things that they do and they know it, people who make choices and they know another person's going to pay for the consequence of that choice and they are conscious of it. They know for a fact that they're saying something that is not true. And they know another person's going to be hurt by that. People who deliberately say things to hurt somebody. Believe you me, your body knows you did that. Your mind knows you did that. Your heart and soul knows you did that. So you did that. So don't tell yourself, under any circumstances, that the problem with your depression comes from your childhood. Don't go there, knock it off, and make the decision. The decision to live an integrous life means get this act together. So it's not as simple as saying I'm a good person. Knock it off. This is major league. Second, are you taking notes?
Now here are my 2 cents, and feel free to keep the change. With all the modern conveniences we have at our disposal, it is not easy living in the 21st century. It is convenient, but it's not easy. It's not easy living in an age of social media where people who claim to be your friends can befriend you or mute you with a click of a mouse and without your knowledge that you've been erased from their lives. It's not easy trying to figure out what's real news or what's propaganda. It's not easy being bombarded with images of people who are richer, younger, more attractive, and popular than you when they seemingly have done nothing to earn it. All the insecurities of your teen years can show up and do show up at the strangest moments in this age we now live. This assault on what you think about yourself is such an important battlefront that advertisers spend billions of dollars every year to make you feel as if you've accomplished nothing and have essentially wasted your entire life. What happened to the dreams of your youth? Where is the person who could once handle any situation that came their way? Well, my hope is over the next few weeks we can assist you in finding that person again, because without them, nothing else you've done or are currently doing will matter. Dear friends, I wish above all things that you prosper just as your soul prospers. You've been listening to Urban X Real Talk Fitness Radio with your host, Diaja. Until next week, as always, walk in health and peace.